Hi, everyone. Welcome to Three Keys to Successful Online Lead Generation for Local Businesses. We'll get started here in just a few minutes. We still got a lot of people joining in, so we'll let them get settled in and then we'll get going. Now's a good time if you need to run to the restroom, get a drink of water, wrap up any last minute emails or conversations. Perfect time to do it, and then we'll get started here in just a few minutes. Thank you. Hi, everyone. I see a lot of you have just joined in. Welcome to Three Keys to Successful Online Lead Generation for Local Businesses. If that's the presentation you were expecting, then you're in the right place. And we're going to get started here in just a couple minutes, just letting everybody get settled in. So if you want to get a drink, run to the restroom, wrap up any last minute emails or conversations, now's a great time to do it. And we'll get started in just a moment. Thank you. Okay, everybody, let's go ahead and get rolling. Welcome again to Three Keys to Successful Online Lead Generation for Local Businesses. This presentation will be about how to use targeted online ads to increase your visibility, attract new customers, and stimulate growth, specifically for you businesses that are working to attract customers on a local level. Okay, so thanks again for joining me. And presentation is probably, I don't know, around 45 minutes or so, and we'll certainly answer as many questions as I can at the end of the presentation. So please, if you would, during the presentation, you can see that there's a little question box below the presentation screen here. You can type in your questions, and I will get them during the presentation, and at the end, I will answer as many as I can. If for some reason I'm not able to answer your question, then either myself or somebody from my team here will get back to you personally in the next 24 hours to do our best to answer that for you. Okay? Let's see here. I will be recording this presentation, so if you need to, go back through, you'll be able to. So no need to frantically take notes or anything like that. Um, and also on the lower right-hand portion of the presentation here, I believe it's the lower right-hand down here. If you hover your mouse over the presentation, you will see a little box kind of show up over the presentation. If you click on that, that should take the presentation into full screen mode for you. It might make it a little bit easier for you to watch. Okay? So on that note, let's go ahead and get going. Thanks again for joining me. I appreciate you taking time out of your busy day, and we will hustle through this and get you back to work. All right, in terms of agenda, we're going to talk about why targeted display advertising can be a powerful growth tool for local business. Number two, three keys to successful online lead generation using paid advertising, and then summary of key takeaways. All right, so Act 1 here, why targeted display advertising can be a powerful growth tool for your local business. We're all obviously aware that we continue to become increasingly digital, right? Not only do we have computers and laptops now that we can sit down at and surf the web, visit sites, visit apps, you know, but we can also do all of those things on mobile devices, on phones, while we're walking around down the street. It really is amazing how everything is becoming connected and everything's becoming mobile, which allows us to be connected all the time for better or worse. There are now 2.4 billion global internet users, and really all of the first world countries, most of the second world countries, internet access is pretty darn pervasive. Um, you just have particularly poor parts of the world where people still just don't have as much infrastructure to access the internet, but that is changing quickly, and the numbers continue to rise dramatically. 1.1 billion global active Facebook users. That's a pretty amazing number. Almost half of the global internet users are using Facebook. 38 million user-generated Yelp reviews. Okay, if you're not familiar with Yelp, it's a local site, local focused site where people can share their reviews about local businesses. So just share that to stress the fact that, on a local level, customers really are paying attention and they're interacting online and giving feedback about the businesses that they like to visit. And 100 hours of video uploaded to YouTube every minute. Just an amazing stat about how we're using our technology to interact with each other and to share information with each other. But again, the world becomes increasingly digital and does it at an incredible pace. As that is happening, local consumers have turned to shopping online, okay, which obviously impacts your business. 73% of people report that they do at least half of their shopping online now. 88% of consumers who search for local businesses call or visit within 24 hours. So that's a really amazing statistic about the action that people are taking based off of what they're finding online in their local markets. And mobile searchers are 51% more likely to make a purchase. Okay, so mobile searchers have a very high buyer intent. So just some interesting statistics about, again, how as we're getting more connected and as we're getting more mobile, people have more options to find information about your business or find information about products that they're looking for online. To do that no matter where they're at, no matter what time of day it is. To do that when they're standing inside of your stores already. People are doing product research while they're standing in there shopping. The game of how to market and attract customers on a local basis has changed dramatically and is continuing to change dramatically as this continued rush to connect everything digitally takes place. Now, because of all of this, more and more ad impressions are coming from time spent online. Okay, if you look at the statistics about people watching TV versus spending time online, you can see that there's starting to be this big shift to people spending time online. It used to be that we got the far majority of our advertising from watching television shows and watching the television live. That is starting to shift to people getting their advertising through their computer screens and through their mobile devices. Obviously, we're all aware of the shift from print reading, newspaper reading that has taken place, and people now getting their news from their digital devices, whether that's computers or mobile devices. So where the advertising used to take place is, where it used to completely dominate is now shifting. We're seeing a lot of the ad impressions that people receive in their daily lives now happening online or on their digital devices in some way or another. In 2012, there were 5.3 trillion ads served online in the US alone. It's just an astonishing number. And it's an increase of over 1 trillion ads since 2009. So it's growing, and it's growing quite dramatically. In fact, maybe not a big surprise, online marketing, digital marketing is the fastest, or digital advertising, I should say, is the fastest growing segment of advertising by far and away. Most of the other major forms of advertising, television, radio, print, are either pretty flat or, in some cases in decline. But digital advertising is growing by leaps and bounds. And this is a very interesting statistic. 74.2% of consumers prefer to see ads from local businesses over national businesses. Okay, so when they are getting these ads on their devices, on their computers, on their mobile phones, they prefer if it's something local. Okay, and they prefer that it's something that they're familiar with, or something that they can get access to quickly. And so local businesses have a real advantage in marketing to consumers digitally if they know how to take advantage of it. Now, because of all of these factors, more local businesses are turning to online advertising for growth and brand building. And there's three big reasons why this is happening and why it's becoming more available to local businesses, because this honestly was not always easy to do, to advertise online for smaller local businesses that don't have big dedicated marketing teams, and don't have big advertising agencies working for them. Just the complexity of doing it can be overwhelming. Still to this day, that's the case. It can be pretty darn hard for the typical restaurant owner or the typical lawyer to just jump online and start doing digital advertising. It's still not that easy. But there are some factors that are driving more and more local advertising to happen. The first one is there's new places to reach consumers, okay, which is what we just talked about. You can now advertise on mobile devices, mobile phones, inside of applications on those devices. You can advertise on videos on YouTube. You can advertise on Facebook. You can advertise on just about every major national site or local site. So there are more opportunities for you to target your market, and more opportunities for you to just buy advertising that is affordable and available to you. Again, a smaller local business in the past trying to go and maybe buy a TV spot or buy a full page print ad in a newspaper. Those are pretty difficult things to do, pretty expensive things to do, oftentimes out of reach. You now have all kinds of additional options as to where you can reach consumers with advertising, and that is bringing the cost and availability of advertising to local businesses. Second is new ways of buying advertising. There is a process called RTB, or real-time bidding or real-time buying, that is now becoming a very common way to buy advertising digitally. And essentially, what this allows you to do is to bid in the exact moment on available ad space on sites around the web. So if I owned a website and I had advertising inventory available on that website, and today at 1 p.m. I didn't have anybody who had bought my advertising space, I can sell that space in real time through these exchanges, they're called, where a local business could be sitting down and saying, you know what, I'll take whatever ad space I can get today on these sites, and I'll pay this much for it. So there becomes this very quick, real-time way of connecting advertising buyers with advertising sellers. That speed of implementation, that speed of execution, is making it much easier and also much more affordable for local businesses to buy advertising. And then finally, more engaging ads. Okay, media is becoming richer and richer. The way that we're able to advertise is becoming richer and richer. We can advertise with video now. We can advertise with all kinds of motion in our ads. That creates more responsive advertising, and obviously, more responsive advertising means higher ROI, which again makes it more accessible to local businesses that maybe don't have the huge advertising budgets to burn unless they can see immediate ROI. So these are three major trends that are driving advertising online for local businesses. Now, you see online ads everywhere you browse, right? Just to make sure we all know what we're talking about. You can't visit a site on the internet today without seeing ads. And you can see here, circled in green over here on Yahoo, on TechCrunch here. You can see advertisements up here, advertisements over here, and really, there's advertisements throughout these sites, pretty much everywhere you look. There are a number of different advertising vehicles, all different shapes, sizes, and costs that a business can now take advantage of. So the availability of online advertising, the lower cost, the targeting, all of these things are now leveling the playing field for smaller advertisers. Okay, you can now target the people that you want to see within a 15-mile zip code radius of your business. Okay, so many people think, well, geez, how could I possibly afford to run an ad on Yahoo or CNN or ESPN? Well, the technology has made it available now, that has made it possible now that you can only show ads on that site to people within a 15-mile radius of your business. Okay, so you're not running these ads to everybody nationwide on ESPN, Yahoo, and CNN. You're only showing these ads, or CNN and Yahoo and ESPN are only showing these ads to people that are in your market, and they are showing different ads to different people in different markets. So you now have this ability to really hone in your targeting and make sure that you're not wasting dollars by spending money on advertising that's being shown to people outside of your market. Most local businesses do the far majority of business with customers within 15, 20 minutes, or maybe an hour of their business. Online advertising now allows you to target that way as well. Lower cost is leveling the playing field. Again, because there are so many more advertising options out there, you can now get advertising online at a much, much lower cost per thousand, or CPM, than you can radio, television, print, okay, any of the other vehicles. You can find lower cost digital advertising. Some interesting statistics here: 35% of people who have seen an ad will search for the business within 48 hours. So it's impactful. Okay, these ads, particularly when locally targeted, are relevant, and they're sticking inside people's heads, and people are taking what they're seeing and using that in their searches to then go on and find businesses and products that they're looking for. And finally, an easy to measure ROI using analytics is making a more level playing field for smaller advertisers. Smaller advertisers used to be pretty out of luck when it came to being able to really truly know their ROI on their ads and make adjustments on those ads. If you went and ran a full page ad in the newspaper, you weren't going to know the results of that ad for probably 30 days after you placed that order and after you wrote a very sizable check. Now, with online advertising, you can literally measure hour by hour, day by day, see what's happening, test different advertising formats, test different call to actions, test different images, test different offers, right? And see how those things impact the success of your ad. You can do that practically in real time, which is a total game changer for small businesses. So you add all of these things together, and smaller advertisers, local businesses without huge advertising budgets, without huge advertising agencies, are still able, or now able, to take advantage of very powerful advertising and compete head on with those bigger brands that do have the bigger national budgets. All right, Act 2, let's talk about the 3 keys for successful online lead generation using targeted display advertising. And I want to make sure I'm clear again. Display advertising is the type of ads where you see a banner ad out there, on a website, as opposed to like search advertising, where we're all probably familiar with search advertising, where somebody types in a phrase into the search engine and then gets results back, and some of those results are ads. Um, Search advertising, as powerful as it is, only accounts for about 8% of consumers. Okay, 8% of consumers' attention and time online. So display advertising is incredibly powerful because you're reaching that other 92%. And that's why display advertising is so big. It's a much, much bigger advertising vehicle in terms of dollars spent than search advertising is. So let's talk about key number one is you've got to create compelling ads. Okay, a display ad needs to grab your attention because again, this isn't somebody who has sat down and searched for your business or searched for your product. You have to grab their attention. Maybe they went to ESPN to read an article about their favorite football team. They weren't expecting to see your ad there. If you're going to draw their attention to that ad, then that ad has to be compelling. It has to grab your attention. I thought this one from Evian water was pretty darn funny. Certainly an ad that's hard to just completely ignore. I mean, you see a baby on roller skates like that, it's going to catch your attention, right? So powerful images, short creative copy, and having your brand and message accurately represented. As you can see here, Evian, I think with this ad, did a fantastic job of all of these things, right? Very strong visual there. They've done a nice job of having their brand represented and this message of live young, as if they're, the message obviously as if their water, their product is going to help you, feel good, to help you, have a healthier life and live younger. Did a very, very nice job with this ad. Now, of course, Evian has the ability to spend lots and lots of money on pure branding ads. This is purely a branding ad. There's no call to action, there's no offer. And most local businesses are not going to do that. Most local businesses are going to have ads that have some sort of direct message calling you to do something, to get a discount, to take advantage of a deal, something like that, because they're looking for immediate ROI. Evian here is more than happy to spend some money just to get some brand exposure and to continue to enhance this live young branding that they're developing. All right. Number two, or excuse me, you've got to start by doing your homework. To create these compelling ads, you've got to start by doing your homework. Okay, an ad that is compelling to one person is not going to be compelling to another person. Okay, so you've got to determine who it is that you're going after with your ad. You really want to create an ad that is specifically targeted to, you know, one person, really, if you can. Now, obviously, you're not advertising to just one person, but you want to imagine who exactly is the person that you're going after. What are the demographics? What are the psychographics of that person? Am I going after a man, a woman? How old are they? What kind of money do they make? What kind of situation are they in life? And you want to tailor your ads to those specific people because, again, one person is going to resonate with a certain message much more than another person. So you really want to think through, hey, who is it that I'm going after? Think through those target demographics. The best way to get that information, by the way, is to get it from your current customers, right? To find out, hey, who are our current customers? To do a survey of them and determine, who are they? Where do they live? How old are they? What's their income? What are their interests? And use those factors to then target your advertising and create your advertising. You want to look at what your competition is doing, right? Some of your competition is advertising out there very successfully already. So you can learn some lessons from what they're doing. In just about every industry, in every local business, there's always there's always one or two players that seem to be really advertising and marketing more than the rest of the competition and also seem to be dominating that market. It's always good to look at, hey, what are they doing? How are they pulling that off? And then, of course, we don't want to just copy them. We need to make sure that we're developing our unique approach, leveraging what is working out there, but making sure that we're bringing something unique and that our brand and our message stands out from the competition. All right, so here's an example of a medical center that is doing exactly what we just described here. This is one medical center taking 3 different advertising approaches to target specific audiences. And you can see here that they've done a very nice job of this, right? These are totally different audiences with totally different messages to make sure that they are reaching different people. So this is a sophisticated, smart approach by this medical center where obviously what they've done is they have looked at their audience and said, okay, who are the different groups that make up our audience? How can we, categorize them and then create ads that are specifically targeted to each of them so that we're not just running one general ad to the entire marketplace. So very, very smart approach here, and a similar approach should be taken by all businesses. You don't have one type of customer. Okay, you have all kinds of different types of people who are buying from you, and it's a real risk that you just take all of them and kind of take the average of who they are. People are not averages, right? So as much as possible, you want to look at your distinct groups of customers and target them distinctly. Now, at the same time, we want to keep it pretty simple. We don't need to overcomplicate our approach to creating compelling ads. Oftentimes, the most compelling ads are the ones, excuse me, that just very simply grab our attention and communicate the message. So here's a great example. I love this ad. This is from Wix. And you can see here, it's just a smiling cow, very hard to ignore, very hard to not have some warm and fuzzies, when you see a big smiling cow staring at you like this. And they've got a very simple message directly targeted to who they're going after, right? It says, photographers, put your work in focus, create your own amazing online portfolio. That's a pretty strong, simple message going directly after their target audience. Short, crisp copy usually works best. Usually people are not going to sit and look at an ad and read paragraphs of information. That's not always the case. And, advertising is easy to test, so we always recommend that people test like crazy. But usually it is the case. Easy to distinguish colors, fonts, and overall design. Again, just keeping it nice and clean and crisp. And generally, like I said, simpler is better. Having a strong call to action is usually very, very important for local marketers. And the reason for that is local marketers tend to be smaller businesses that don't have massive advertising budgets, and they want to see some sort of immediate impact or action come from their ads. Okay, so looking back at our Evian ad, that is a branding advertisement. Evian has, massive budgets. They're willing to spend the money just to have their brand out there and just remind people that they exist, right? And to try and make that message about their brand concrete in our minds. Most smaller local businesses don't have the ability to do that, so we're looking for something that will get action now. That's called a call to action. That is the device, the tool that allows you to get somebody to take action on your ad so that you can see, hey, my ad is reaching people and people are responding to it. You want to be precise and clear on what you want the visitor to do. A big risk that you see is that advertisers will tend to sometimes be too wishy-washy in their call to action. You want to be very direct. You can see here on this ad, it just says, join now. This is a compelling ad. Again, a nice image of a cool martini drink. It says, your work week is boring, your free time shouldn't be. Join now. It's a cool, compelling message. And that call to action, join now, you're telling the visitor what to do. Okay, and that's why you see on ads, you'll see things like click here, click now, buy now. It is proven that those very direct messages are more effective. So don't leave it to chance. You want to tell your prospect what you want them to do. You also typically don't want to have more than one call to action, right? It says more than one call to action. That is not the martini in this ad. You probably don't want to have too many of those either. But having more than one call to action, you may think, oh, that's great. I'm giving the prospect a choice. Well, it's been proven time and again that giving people a choice is actually generally a bad idea in advertising. Giving them one specific thing that you want them to do and telling them to do it is usually much more powerful. Again, always something to test, but that is a general rule of thumb. And bribe them when appropriate, right? Offer them something specific. So this one just says join now. And that's appropriate for their branding. This is, you can tell they're trying to create like an exclusive feel with this ad. They've got some positioning going on about the cool factor here. So they may not necessarily be trying to attract somebody by using a discount, right? Or some free offer. However, in lots and lots and lots of local businesses, one of the most powerful things that you can possibly do is give somebody a coupon, a gift certificate, a free offer, something like that to get somebody to take action and come to your business right away. So, right in this ad, this could be a join now and save 25%. It could be 2-for-1 drinks, right? 2-for-1 drinks until this Friday, to try and get somebody to take fast action. So there's a lot of things that you can do to, again, bribe them to get them to take action. Now you have to determine, is that appropriate for your particular brand that you're putting out in the marketplace or not? For most local businesses, it is a good idea to have some sort of specific bribe like that to further induce your prospect into taking action on your offer. All right, use your location if appropriate. Again, you can target now based on location. Because of that, you can consider using your location in the actual ads to make them more compelling. Okay, an ad that starts with copy with, attention Denver residents. If I'm a Denver resident, that is going to resonate more with me than an ad that was just run nationwide. Okay, if it includes pictures or images from my local town, then that's going to be more targeted and more relevant to me. Again, people prefer to see local ads over non-local ads. So now that you can target specifically, make sure that you're taking advantage of that in the actual ad construction. Okay, not just in the targeting, but in the actual ad construction. So you can see here, this is somebody who was advertising swiftcover.com, and they're advertising on Facebook. And you can see here that they have attention, or they have targeted specific town here, Martok drivers, right? And you can see that they've included the name of that town on both the license plate here on this image of the car, as well as here in the headline. Okay, right here as well. So, and also in this map. So they've done a really, really good job of saying, hey, wait, if you're in Martok, I am coming after you, right? This is this ad is made specifically for you. And that's powerful. Again, you can see a serious uptick in response on advertising campaigns when they are locally targeted like this. Next, use social proof in your ads. People love to see that other people are saying good things about your business, okay? Just think about it if you're considering going out to a restaurant. What's the first thing that we do now when we're looking to go out to a restaurant? We hop on to one of the many number of review sites and look at, hey, what are people saying about this restaurant? This is the first time I'm going. I want to know if it's worth heading there versus all the other restaurants that I have a choice of. So including powerful social proof, including powerful testimonials from existing customers, including the ratings, the star ratings that you have from Yelp or on Google or Facebook or whatever can be a very powerful way to communicate how people feel about your business. And showing pictures of real people at your business, so it's not just this kind of stock photography type of stuff, really goes a long way in making those ads seem real and approachable and making your business seem real. You can see here this is a company called AdRoll. AdRoll knew exactly how to scale our campaign and maximize our return. Jason Cohen, CEO of WordPress Engine. So there you go. There's an example of just using that testimonial, somebody real in their ad, and that social proof goes a long way. All right, so that was key number one. You've got to create compelling ads, and those were all tips to create compelling ads. If the ad is not compelling, if it doesn't grab somebody's attention and get them to take action, then really your campaign is not going to be effective. Key number two is to target your ads precisely. And we've already talked about this a number of times, but targeting is really I think the magic of doing digital advertising now. Again, if I was running an ad in my local paper, it's going to be seen by everybody in my market that reads that local paper, regardless of whether that's the 85-year-old retiree or the college kid that's reading the newspaper for the first time as a part of the business school at their university, right? The business class at their university. So those are totally different markets, totally different people. And if I can't target using print like that, I know I'm wasting a good amount of my advertising dollars, right? So you can target your ads with online advertising in very, very specific ways. There are four main buckets. You can target by location, you can target by interests, you can target by intent, and you can target by demographics. Okay, so you combine all four of those things together, and you have amazing targeting capabilities to ensure that your ads are being seen by the right people, by the absolute best prospects for your business. So let me just give you an example here. This is from an inside of an advertising platform that we have. And you can see here we can target up to 3 of the following audience groups for your ad campaign. And I just want to show you here demographics, interests, and intent to give you some examples. So you can see over here under demographics, I can target all kinds of different age groups, business professionals, high income, Hispanics, homeowners, IT professionals, low income, married, men, moms, parents, pet owners, renters, single, small business owners, suburban, urban, well-educated, women. I've got to imagine that every single one of you can look at a list and go, wow, yeah, I can see somewhere in that list my targeted audience that I should be going after. Now look over here at the interests. Arts and entertainment enthusiasts, automotive enthusiasts, beauty and spa, charitable donors, college sports fans, eco-friendly, food lovers, furniture shoppers, gamers, movers, newsreaders, outdoor enthusiasts, photographers, political junkies, shoppers, sports fans, techies, travelers, weight loss. Again, I'm sure you can see how you can target your advertising to reach a real specific audience that's going to be a good fit for you. Over here on intent, based on the sites that people are visiting, we can know, are they looking for auto insurance? Are they looking for banking services, education, financial services, health and medicine, right? You typically are not going to go visit an auto insurance site unless you are looking for auto insurance. Same with life insurance or tax advisory services. So you combine these three things, demographics, interest, and intent, and then you target all of those on a local basis within 15 miles of your business. I think you can see how powerful advertising digitally can become. So it really is amazing the degree of targeting that you can do to hone in your ads and make sure that you're spending your money on the exact audience that you're going after. Just as an example, if I was a local auto dealer, I've got my cool red sports car on the left, I've got my minivan on the right. The one on the left may be more appropriate for John, the 30-something bachelor, versus the one on the right for Jane, the mother of 3. And if I am running ads to a big, broad marketplace without thinking through my targeting, I'm missing out on the opportunity to show my ad to the right person and have a really refined advertising spend, ensuring that my ads are being seen by the right person. All right, next is to measure your results. Again, I talked about how everything online is measurable. The analytics associated with online advertising now are just absolutely fantastic, and they're almost completely real time at this point. So you can make changes and you can see what things are working and what things aren't as they're happening. So you want to make sure that you have effective analytics set up on all of your campaigns. You want to run before and after reports anytime you make a change so that you can see clearly, hey, what did that change cause? And then draw insights from these reports and shift your targeting accordingly. Okay, depending on how much you're spending and how big of an audience you're going after, this could be something that you're looking at weekly, monthly, or for major advertisers spending a good amount of money, they'll look at these things daily. I have a business that I've worked with. It's a plumbing company that does amazing advertising in their local market, and they're just dominating their local market because of it. And they are literally looking at their advertising on an hour-by-hour basis and making shifts in their ads based on where they have available plumbers. So, if they have available plumbers further north because they haven't been booked up, then they'll run more of the ads on the north side of the market. So it's amazing what you can do if you take the time to look at the data and adjust your advertising approach based on that data. All right, so that's targeting. Now, key number 3 is to now follow your prospects online. And what I mean by that is a relatively new advertising vehicle called retargeting. And what retargeting does is it shows your ads to users who previously visited your site. Okay, and that's really, really key to understand. Okay, the normal display advertising, I'm placing an ad. Let's say I'm placing an ad on ESPN, but targeted to my local market. I'm obviously trying to target sports enthusiasts in my local market and hoping that my ad will catch the attention of somebody new that I've never, had any sort of conversation with before, that I've never presented my products or services to before, and I'm pulling them into my world with a compelling ad, right? Well, retargeting, on the other hand, says, hey, at some point or another, you were able to get this person to your site. If they came to your site, there was a degree of interest that makes that prospect now highly desirable to keep targeting, right? Obviously, if they showed some sort of interest in the first place, they are a much more desirable prospect than just the general population of people who have not yet expressed any interest. So what retargeting allows you to do is target those specific people. And you can see in this diagram here, somebody surfs the web, they come to your site, okay? After they've seen an ad, they come to your site, but then they leave. They have not yet, bought a product or service from you. And then they go back and they visit, CNN later on that day. They are now going to see your ad on CNN, and ideally then have a much higher chance of being brought back to your site. I mean, as you can imagine, if this morning you're poking around and you decide, oh yeah, let me go check out this site, and you go check it out, and you're looking at, a product, let's say a new diamond necklace at a jeweler in town, and then you leave that site, and later on that day you're visiting CNN and you see the ad for that jeweler. You're obviously going to think, wow, that's pretty wild. I looked at them earlier today and now I'm seeing them now. You have probably noticed this in your web surfing experience. You probably noticed that now you see ads for companies that you've visited over and over again. That's retargeting. Okay, that advertiser is being smart and said, hey, if you showed up on my ad once, you're more than likely willing to come back, and you have more interest than just the general population, so I'm going to spend more money trying to target you. So that's retargeting. Very, very powerful way of continuing to show your ads to the best prospects. So you can see here's an ad for Injured in the Game, Center for Orthopedics. You can see 2 ads, and it's on CNBC, first in business worldwide. Okay, this is a local center for orthopedics in the 207 area code. It's not necessarily, I can tell you for sure, it's not that somebody is advertising just generally on CNBC nationwide. They are retargeting somebody in a local market that has been to their site recently. Okay, so that's an example of retargeting. Now, the amazing things about retargeting, really, really cool things. So one, you're getting repeat impressions to your most interested prospects, right? Again, somebody came and visited your site, they're interested. Now you're getting to hit them over and over again with increased impressions. Number two is you have this ability to build a list to advertise to. Now, what does that mean? Um, there's a rule in building businesses that says that you should always develop your customer list and your prospect list, right? The business that has the biggest list of buyers is in the most powerful situation because they can now market to that list of buyers and get them coming back over and over and over again. One of the major catastrophes, disasters of many smaller local businesses is that they don't actually build and nurture their list of prospects and customers. You want to capture all of the data that you possibly can so that you can market to those people that are interested or have previously bought over and over and over again. That gives you a powerful edge over your competition. And in a lot of cases, that's the only real asset that a business builds is that list. So you, I'm sure, have collected direct mail lists. You know, people come in, you collect their address, so you can send them direct mail. Maybe you collect their phone numbers so you can call them. You collect their email address so you can send email to them. Those are all examples of lists. Well, retargeting is another form of list. I can essentially build a list of people who have visited my specific site within my retargeting advertising platform. Okay, so now I can see this list of all the people who have ever been on my site, and I can run ads specifically just to them. That is a very, very powerful asset, and all of this leads to a very high return on investment. You will see a massive return on your investment when you're doing retargeting to people who have already expressed interest or have already bought from you in the past. All right, Act 3, summary of key takeaways here to wrap this up. Wrapping it up with a quote. One of my favorite quotes regarding advertising: early to bed, early to rise, work like hell and advertise. I know a couple of people get credit for that. I first heard it from Ted Turner, famous businessman and founder of CNN, and that was one of his personal mottos. And I believe it's a very valuable one to consider. Again, when we look around in any local market, in any industry, there tends to be one or two businesses in that local market that are totally dominating their industry. And it's no surprise that they tend to be the heaviest advertisers, the heaviest marketers as well. So in terms of how to make that advertising most effective, what we covered today: be memorable, be compelling, grab attention, target your ads. Okay, we talked about the 4 factors that you can target: location, demographics, interests, and intent. Leverage all 4 of those to target your ads as specifically as possible. Have a strong call to action. Direct people specifically as to what you want them to do. Don't leave it to chance. Okay, tell them what action you want them to take now that they've seen your ad. Measure and adjust. Online advertising gives you incredible ability to analyze, to capture data and analyze that data and make smart decisions based on it. And then retarget your best prospects. Follow those people around, the people who have come to your site, the people who have come to your business. Those are the ones that you want to make sure that you're giving the most attention possible. So absolutely, take advantage of retargeting, build that list, build that asset, so that you can get the highest bang for your buck from your advertising dollars. Okay, that's it. I appreciate your time and attention. I hope that you got some good takeaways from the presentation. I hope that, if nothing else, it opened your eyes to some of the capabilities that online advertising presents to the local business advertiser. I think that what I find in my conversations with our clients is that most local businesses just are not even aware of the capabilities that exist for local advertisers, and how that can impact their ability to do really compelling, targeted, and affordable advertising in their local market. So I hope that, again, your eyes were open, and I hope that you got some good tips on how to advertise more effectively for your local business. And I just want to throw out there, no hard sales pitch here, but I just want to throw out there that we're here to help. If you'd like to get in touch, this is what we do for clients. We help our clients take advantage of the power of online advertising, specifically in their local markets, and taking advantage of all of those neat capabilities that are out there to create the highest bang for your buck advertising. Whether you're advertising in print today, yellow pages, direct mail, radio, television, I am almost 100% sure that we can create advertising campaigns for you online that will add a positive return on your investment to your advertising spend that you're currently doing. And if you're not currently advertising your business online at all, or not advertising in your local market, whether you're just getting started or advertising has just not been something that you've done in your business in the past, now is a fantastic time to get started. There are more options available to you than ever, which can create some really, really great results. So if you would like to help, if you'd like some help, please do get in touch. We'd love to just spend a half an hour with you talking through what it is that your goals are, what your objectives are, what business you're in, trying to understand that and see if we might be able to help you out. Okay? On that note, I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up. Thank you very much again for your time and attention. I appreciate it. Any questions, we will follow up with you here in the next 24 hours. So we will get back to you personally, either myself or somebody from my team. And we'll also get a recording out to you as well here in the next day or two as soon as we're able to get that online. Okay? Thank you very much again. I appreciate you attending, and we'll talk to you soon.